going to like Redskins games and
That's true.
the Charleston
that's true.
Steamers, minor league baseball,
Yeah.
and to like the Battleship in Charleston, just all sorts of fun stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, also driving recklessly as like a 13-year-old.
You
Remember,
probably had
he-
the better
he came
experience
here,
than me.
And I was probably 14, and we went like I drove down to a side road and just we wanted to see how fast I could get the car. I got to about 90.
Holy crap!
That's awesome.
Oh my god!
Sketchy road.
I never knew about
That's
this.
awesome. No, you won't.
What was
He
your
was
dad's
a
fascination
brave
with the whole
man.
driving?
Yeah.
So,
Had to have a little boy fun.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Shooting off fireworks and stuff.
Oh, he loved fireworks.
Yeah.
Now that Robin just said that, I
Taught
think
me
they
how to
taught
drive
me
in that little
too.
rabbit.
In Easton.
Yeah,
So,
he just told a really good
Grit.
story.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
A new one?
I think the
What?
same day.
Here, me.
He
This is when
said,
you
I
all
don't
were
think you know how to
in
shoot a
secret.
gun.
This is
No,
that's Kelly.
Secret, I guess.
Yeah.
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 But we had a,
What are you trying to
Tommy
do?
Robin day, and he taught me how to. I couldn't see what I was doing or, whatever. But he was like, "Go, just press it all the steer."
Obsession with teaching underage kids how to drive.
Well, the whole family has a problem, as JoJo knows. We're driving underage and being hospitals. I used to drive the car in Rehoboth Beach all the time.
Yeah.
But to JoJo's story about taking the car out in Potomac off of Travilla Road, well, I did the same thing when we lived out there. And I went to the Exxon in the village, and I was probably like 14. I couldn't see. I was in the BMW, and the guy that worked at the gas station, what was his name, Mom? Smitty?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, "You're just like your mother."
Oh my god! Oh.
I'm very grateful I never drove
And
to
I had
What's
to-
this place called?
Apparently,
Apparently, you just
It's
Yes.
called that still.
I'm glad I
I know,
avoided the Uncle
Andy.
Tommy
But it was,
driving lesson.
I was 14 and I had girls from Holy Child in the car with me, and yeah,
Get me on video.
practicing my driving skills. I couldn't see I couldn't see,
Yeah.
but, and that guy at the gas station said, "You are just like your mother." Mitch and Bill. Mitch and Bill.
Bills.
But the guy's name I think was Smitty.
Smitty.
Yeah.
I remember that name.
So I have a great story about Uncle Paul. Because Uncle Paul always, through his years, Uncle Paul was always like, as you said, Rocky, like we talked about earlier, he was always like this bigness. There was always this bigness about Uncle
Right,
Paul.
right.
And
Was that Gloria's funeral?
well, he was just a big. He wasn't a big man, but he seemed big. Okay, so he always had this presence, right? So Paul and I were having a conversation at California Dreaming
At Gloria's funeral.
at Gloria's funeral. Thanks, Greg.
If you want to tell the story, tell the story. Otherwise,
At Gloria's funeral, and where Dad was an amazing man, and my mother would have been an amazing mother. When I told her this news about my lifestyle, my Uncle Paul went, because I had told him how much I was in love with my wife Nancy, and Paul was happy that I had told him and confided in him that I love a woman, and Paul went, and
Oh
I
my
was
God.
like,
I love it.
yeah, Paul was an amazing man. My father was an amazing man. They both loved their family.
Yep.
They I don't know where they got it. Sorry, Joanna, and sorry, Gabe, but I don't know where they got it. But
They did get it from my father.
yes,
Okay.
they
You
got
think?
this. They
So
got
tall.
this thing.
Oh.
Sorry, Wen, go.
They
Oh.
got this thing where they just love their children.
Yeah.
And when I introduced this concept to my father, and when I introduced it to the concept to my uncle, and of course my aunts are amazing. So
Right.
you know, but the two men in my family, they were an amazing. Oh gosh, they were just so amazingly accepting.
Mhm.
And they, I know the girls in my family will accept it, but the guys were just so awesome. And so I'm just grateful to have those two men in my life.
Yeah.
I will remember so many times with Paul and with my father. My father taught me how to shoot a rifle, but unfortunately, I'm left-eye dominant, so he didn't teach me how to shoot it correctly. So I sucked at shooting, but he taught me
So
how
you
to
never
putt.
had bullseye as a nickname.
Yeah, he taught me how to putt. He got distracted. He got frustrated with how distracted I got with bunnies and squirrels and rabbits and things. But my father was an amazing man, and I'm sure Paul would have been as equally frustrated with me wanting to pursue a sport and being distracted by the beauty of, the bunnies and the squirrels.
Along the path.
Well, I think it's funny, I think we all went through the Paul or the Kern interview.
Oh yeah.
What about the interview?
Oh, all the
Sit down.
time. All the time.
You get to sit down.
Every time you saw him.
And then he would, and I mean,
Sorry.
he would literally, and I can't speak to Tommy on this, but Dad would literally want to know what was going on, and then was there an opportunity where he needed to help, or wanted to help, or could help, or whatever it was, or help you in any sort of way. But he legitimately was empathetic and interested in whatever you were doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would engage you. It would
Whatever it
find out
was.
some time to carve out. Maybe he was sitting in his chair and you had to come over.
Yep.
And then you would have some time, sort of like I wouldn't say necessarily the Godfather, but he would.
No, it did feel like that.
But he would.
No,
be
it really
sitting in
was.
his chair and you'd come over and tell him what was going on, and then he would legitimately want to engage you in what was going on in your life.
Yep.
And if you needed some help or whatever, he was coming up with help, trying to help you find some solutions.
Oh yeah.
Mike and I never got that as a son-in-law.
You never got that?
No. We never
Okay.
had any questions, Mike, right?
No, I was
I mean, the only other thing I can remember with Dad, I don't know, we were on a bigger discussion maybe about money and everything, and it's like he's like, I just want to make sure I take care of my family and my sisters.
Oh.
Going forward in life.
Oh.
He says, really, that's what was important.
That was his whole life. Not just moving
No.
forward. Like that was his whole life.
When I was 16, I got a hand-me-down Oldsmobile green machine, piece of nothing car, but he made sure I got a car.
Yeah.
So I think between the two of them, as we talked about, they were true patriarchs before they
Yep.
wanted to be or should have been
Yep.
in life.
Yep.
And both of them stepped up
Mhm.
to support both their families and their extended family, their immediate families and their extended families.
Mhm.
And it's something that I, appreciate and take, as a learning, as a son, as very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Beth.
So I have two things on that. One, I think I just was not part. Like I was just in Utah, and so out of sight, out of mind type thing. And then, but recently, when Paul and Sally were living on that Lake Anna,
Yeah.
and went to see him. This was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was there. It was just me, because it's always just me. And he sits me down and he says, "Well, I'm very concerned about Scott because he's coming home from work and he's not having a beer."
Oh my God.
What is that? And I was like, the dude is happy with me. It's okay. He doesn't need a beer. And Sally's like, he doesn't need a beer, Paul. He's happy. It's okay. He's like, well, I just don't even get it. Like,
I think that might have been joking a little bit.
yeah,
Wait a
I don't
minute,
know.
Right.
I don't know. That was the. So I was, it was hard for me to like convince him that my husband was really okay.
I think that's his way of engaging in conversation.
I don't. Yeah.
I think he was being sarcastic.
You
Yeah.
think? Because I don't. That
Yeah.
like to have. Because it's a sit down, you know. So anyway, it was funny. It was funny because he probably was.
What was your second thing, honey?
Then the second thing was Uncle Tommy. So he comes. It's a weird or newly. Well, I don't know. I'm pregnant with Justin, and
should be
Tommy
married
had this
by
other family with Gloria, and they had a place in Salt Lake City in Snowbird, and it's sometime around Thanksgiving or whatever. He's there for the holiday, and he invites us to dinner, and I'm like, okay, that's really nice of you. You know, he said, thanks. And so, do we need to get dressed?
Please. Partially.
Yes, like that. So Tommy's like, what are you talking about? Yes, of course, suit and tie attire is, you know, yes, appropriate. Like, you know, like it would be like going to congressional type dinner, because I was like I say, I was like not trained in the same. So
You were trained, you
but
just
I
weren't living
didn't-
there anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
So
'Cause it
you
just-
did get dressed in.
I got dressed and we went, and it was ridiculous.
To capture it with a one word.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Bow ties.
Scott,
Oh, my
Scott, it was
gosh.
the best time of your
Who,
life.
who was there from her side?
It was Corner Canyon. It wasn't Snowbird.
See how he knows?
Yeah.
Oh my
Had to
gosh.
wear a coat and tie for God's sake.
Yeah.
But see,
It wasn't that bad.
Jim went through the same. Jim went. We were interviewed. I mean, interviewed. Felt like an interview. We were invited to congressional and did the whole meet and greet when Jim first came into my life. We did the same thing. Paul had to know. You know, this was Paul in this moment. Paul had to know that everything was okay, and that Jim knew how to, you know, take care of me, or knew what this whole thing meant. So we did the same thing.
That was very.
That's the
important.
neat thing about these guys
Yeah,
is that they
Cared about everybody.
they did.
they wanted to make sure that we were taken care of.
They took the role without being asked. You know, they just did. What were you saying, Kelly?
No, Mike had a funny story when y'all were talking about interviews. Dad had come up with something. He was living at Lake Anna. That's fierce. That's an aggressive life.
It is.
What is that?
I
Turn
just
the light down, Mandy.
I can't.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, you can't see anything.
And so anyway, Dad had come up with this idea. He wanted to lease medical equipment, and he wanted to, you know, that was his thing. So he goes, Kelly, and I was there helping, and get Mike Nelligan on the phone. And I was like, well, Dad, let's, Kelly, don't say no to me. Sally always says no to me when I have my ideas. You get Mike Nelligan on the phone. And I'm like, dear God. I'm like, all right. So I text Mike. I said, what are you doing? He's like, I'm traveling. I'm in Baltimore. Hotel.
hateful.
I'm like, do you have like 5 minutes? And I kind of went through it, you know, and he was like, absolutely. So I connected Dad and Mike, and then you go.
I don't remember anything about the conversation, but it was 40 minutes. But
40
when you-
minutes.
But when you were all talking about being interviewed, I
Yeah.
realized, wait, I was too.
Interview.
And
See, that is a
It
word.
was fun.
Yeah.
I don't remember what we talked about.
Right.
I remember I had zero input that was helpful. I didn't understand anything he was saying.
And
I
I'm
have
texting
no
him.
idea what he wanted to do.
I'm texting him during the
I'm
conversation.
like, all right, yeah, I sell like implants. I don't know what you're saying.
Well,
But we
but
had
he
a good
knows
chat.
you were in some general vicinity of
It was
what
really,
he was thinking
it
about.
was really fun.
But he was very
Fun to
sweet.
make sure it
And,
was good.
and you know what? Even though nothing came out of it, Dad was so happy.
Nothing came out of it.
Right. You know, he got to talk to Mike about this.
Yeah.
You know, as they got older.
Dad was saying to us for a long time, Paul really wants to tight.
Yeah, remember?
Yeah.
Paul really wants to what?
Yeah, and you know when he wanted to do something, you were gonna.
You had to get it
Yeah.
done.
Here's the thing, he just wanted to make sure he was keeping it in the family.
Yeah.
Well, yes, and he wanted.
He had this
He was
idea
so-
and he wanted to keep it in the family if
Well,
he could.
But he
He's a
also, because
businessman.
we would, Kelly and I, and me in particular, in the last few years here, I had to, I was the recipient of a lot of these ideas. He's sitting in his room,
Fine ideas.
in, you know, from Lake Anna on up through Spring Arbor, and you know, we've got this property down in North Carolina, so I would try, you know, I'm trying to advance the ball on this thing, and from a value and development standpoint, and then he's just got all these different ideas, and we're going to talk to this guy, and blah blah blah. He wants to get,
Grow tomatoes.
you know, we're going to get modular houses in here. We need Berkshire Hathaway does this. Let's get. Who runs Berkshire? Who's the richest guy in America? What's his name?
Oh my God,
Warren
Bezos.
Buffett.
Oh.
So we got to get Warren Buffett, you know, on board with this. And I'm like,
Yeah, no, that was he's like Kelly. I need
I'm
to
like-
look up Google Warren Buffett. I need
and I, you know, and I'm like, Dad. And I'm like, Dad. So I would have to sort of. Sometimes I was too stern, and then I realized I can't be that
I told
stern.
Rocky,
I gotta
stop
be.
saying
I
no
gotta
to him
just
all the
finesse
time.
this better.
Yeah.
And so over
Aw.
time, I just realized I better finesse this better, and he's getting old, and I just have
Aw.
to be a dutiful son, and
Yeah.
blah blah.
Yeah.
But if I wasn't doing it, I guess Kelly was getting the phone call. You know, get Warren Buffett on the phone.
And
You
he
know.
actually did. He got the office and talked to someone. His first like in charge. I'm not joking.
At Warren.
Oh my God.
So I would tell Kelly, I said, he's calling
That's where
so
I
and
did
so,
that
and it's
from.
not going to go anywhere. He wants to get financing
where I
for
get that
development, and he's going to call these banks. And I'm
Yes.
like, just
Does
let him
it?
do it.
Oh
It's
my
fine.
God.
They'll figure it out, and they can't do anything without us, so it's not going to go anywhere.
No,
But he
did.
had to stay
Yeah,
active. He had to
Kelly,
keep
I
his
have nothing
mind.
else to do but think of.
He had to
things.
keep his mind active.
It was like,
Right,
Mark,
and
do you know
that's
someone at the
awesome.
bank? Do you know someone at the bank? I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, call him up. It's a teller.
We're going to develop all this.
I will say your dad always had some really creative ideas
Yeah.
about how
Aw.
to skin the cat. You know how to do
Sure.
different things.
Yeah. Yeah.
If he just had a
I
little
think
bit
that
more
was probably-
time.
It was probably frustrating for him a little bit later on, where he wasn't being able to execute all these things.
Yeah.
He had a ton of really interesting ideas.
Yeah.
Aw.
And was very, very persistent. So I can imagine as a someone in business with your dad, or like a competitor or something, it was probably pretty fierce
Mhm.
to have your dad on the other side of the table
Mhm.
at any one time. But he
Well,
was a pit bull when it came to business.
So was
Yep.
Dad.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
My dad was
They have the
too.
same personalities. That's why
And-
they clash.
You know, at
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, yes, but at Thanksgiving, Nancy and Dad had some insanely lucid
Mhm.
conversations about the expansion we're doing.
You mean Thanksgiving 2020?
Yes.
Got it.
What expansion?
The golf course.
Golf course.
That's a whole
Their
other.
business.
Okay, okay.
That's a, she can show you the plans tomorrow. Yeah. But Dad was insanely lucid about the conversations that
Mhm.
he had with Nancy, and Nancy always appreciated, and this is why, you know, when the dad lost his ability to communicate, Nancy was so sad, because Dad had insanely lucid conversations with Nancy about business
Mhm.
and the
You
the
go back to
rightness of
something they
things.
know, honey, and then click in.
Right.
That's right. Natural.
It was really cool.
Yep.
Joanna, have you heard us? Joanna, ask her, Mandy.
That's
She's
interesting
holding-
hearing this.
Can you hear? Can you hear what we're talking about?
I can hear what's going on.
Cool. Good. Good.
That's what's going on.
We're recording it too, just in case. But we just, yeah,
It's literally just her hair.
yeah,
I saw that. Yes.
yeah. Anybody?
Okay, well, we love you and we miss you.
I got a notice on my phone that said your battery is low. Turn off the disco.
Do you need a new car warranty?
Let me tell her. Tell her good night.
Don't click anything,
Jojo, plug in your phone. Plug it in.
but don't click anything. That's what I say to Gay.
Just plug it in and say goodbye. Say bye. Wave. Wave goodbye.
Good job.
Bye bye. Love you.
We love you.
Love you, JoJo.
Love you.
Love you.
She's waving. She's waving.
She's waving.
Bye, JoJo.
Say goodbye.
Joe.
Lexi, get in the screen.
Bye, JoJo.
Look in the screen. Good job.
Hi, Precious.
Bye. It's Stellaville.
Bye, JoJo.
Look at little Mikey. Mikey, get in the screen.
Hey, see you, Mom.
Aww.
Okay.
It kills her that she can't be here. What?
Tell us. So you were close to him.
Yeah.
Oh, Bethy.
I was telling Kelly you were close to him. We didn't even know it.
I know. 'Cause I'm
Aww.
in Utah.
He told us that.
And it's like,
Really?
You guys were close. Like in middle school.
Aww.
he just loved me.
He did.
And I love it. And it was just crazy how I felt that. And I felt it like Uncle Paul, I totally knew he loved Jennifer and he loved Robin. I know.
But Tommy was mine.
Well, you know what? Dad felt they needed a
Aw.
little more attention.
Aww.
You were in good shape.
That's exactly it. Paul would say that to me. He'd say, "Nope, you got this. You're good."
Aww.
And that, so I never got the feeling from him like
He had to take care of you.
yes,
Right.
like what do you need?
Yeah.
No.
Dad
except,
told us.
except Scott needs a beer.
Scott needs
That was the only thing that
My
I
dad
needed.
didn't even really drink beer. That's
Right?
the funny thing. That he would
know?
say that to me.
Dad talks a lot about you.
Yeah.
You're right.
It was
Yeah.
just, and
Aw.
it just made me feel like
Yeah.
it didn't matter that I didn't need anything.
Yeah.
He was still just gonna
Yeah, be there.
be there
I
and
know.
love me and
He
make
was.
sure that I was happy.
He was.
And he checked in.
Mm.
And with the like in Utah, like that was so nice of him to. And every time that he would come,
Yeah.
we'd go out to lunch together and
Yeah.
everything.
You were
and
very special to him.
It just, I hated it that I wasn't here,
I know, but
and I
that's-
hated it that I wasn't here
It's all right.
spending the time
He
with
knows
Paul.
that
He
too.
loved,
like it
but
just,
he loved taking care of you. I mean, people. You know.
Mhm.
just in general,
Family,
just the
yeah.
love, the love that I felt from those
Yeah.
two for their families
Yeah.
and their kids,
Yes.
and
Their nieces
Yes.
and nephew.
Right.
you know, and sisters.
Right.
They legit took care of Gay and Mom.
No, you were very special to him.
Oh my gosh. And still
Aw.
probably are.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I'm sure that you're handling some of the ways to make sure that
No
everything
pressure.
is still-
No pressure. No pressure on you guys.
Yeah, I'm calling Rocky when we're finished.
We gotta discuss some refis.
I mean,
Well, you can't have my book. You can't have my book.
Yeah,
can't have his book.
And Beth did talk to Dad. You were like the last person who talked to him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when he was
when he
able
was
to talk.
still with us.
Yeah.
See there?
I remember the first time I got his phone number, and I don't remember how many years ago. Well, he had mine. He got mine. And when Tommy has your phone number,
Yeah.
like Beth is saying, he's checking in.
Yes.
And I'd be like, the dad would be in the hospital for whatever, and he would call me
Yeah. Oh yeah.
several times a day. And if I didn't pick up, Kelly, this is your Uncle Tommy. I know that you're at the hospital. You told me you'd check in. I didn't check in yet. And I'm going to call you Uncle Tommy.
Oh, yeah.
And I tell you what, I me, that was one of the first calls I would make because
Yeah.
he wouldn't stop.
No.
Like, because I mean,
But it's
yeah,
because
he
he
wanted to
cared.
know. He wanted
Yeah.
to know. So I
He-
thought I gotta let him know.
Yeah.
And mom would, and if he'd leave a message with my mom, I'd say, call him right now.
Stuff on me.
She's like, all right.
Aww.
He was like sitting by the phone.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
It was his
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
Yeah. But he was checking in on people.
Dad,
Yeah.
He was
that's
And-
what I'm saying is that Dad and Mom, their family was their
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
both of them were so good when Mom was at Duke.
Oh
You
yeah.
know? Your dad coming up from Charleston and everything. That
Aw.
was amazing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He visited her there?
Is Joanna still on that?
No,
phone?
no, this is just a recording for us. This is just for us.
That's why I'm.
No, we hung up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I had the liberty to. They were amazing.
What, Bethany?
One time when I was at your mom and dad's house in Potomac,
There's a lot of
and Robin was there, and I was there, and I was just hanging out, just existing. And your dad said, I just really appreciate, and this is something that he said to me,
Who are you talking to?
Kelly, about
Oh.
Paul.
Okay. Well, I don't know. if
I'm
they're
trying to get
standing
the
next
voice.
to each other. I wasn't
He
sure which one.
said, yeah, it's Paul. It was at the
Stony Creek House?
Yeah, no,
No, Tara.
Tara.
Oh, Tara.
And he said, this is the spirit that you bring to the home of the joy. And I was like, oh my God.
Right.
Aww.
Thank
He
you
could
so
be very,
much.
they both were very sincere.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's something that made me feel like, okay, I've done something right.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Jennifer and Robin get all the attention.
Aww.
And I'm just, but he recognized, you know, and made me feel good
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
that he knew that I was like making
But
an
Bethany,
attempt
you
to,
were bringing me there.
to be a good person.
You were bringing.
So anyway, I love that that
He
he.
came a long way from when you and I were always in trouble.
So
Yeah.
this is what
I didn't get as far, but he came far.
the famous story of Scott's
About the deck
is the
incident.
deck.
Uh
I
huh.
wanted you to tell the deck story.
Well,
Uh-huh.
you really know, I think I was terrified because I knew my dad was coming over,
Yeah.
and you were, because you called him, I think.
Wait, who was the first person you called? Who was the first person?
So Kelly
Oh, the deck
says,
falling over.
this
Well,
is
we
my
had
memory.
we had a party.
We've all heard about this. We've all heard about this.
Party at where?
Wait.
Everyone knows, yeah.
Oh, Rocky, you've heard about this 1,000 times.
Come on.
I don't think that Rocky actually has.
Oh, really?
Well, I was in
haven't
college at the
Yeah,
time.
he wasn't home. Do you,
I've heard the story, but I was in college.
Oh, okay.
I didn't live it.
Oh, I didn't remember
on
that.
the
I have a horrible
balcony
memory,
of the
so you
house.
probably
Okay.
know more.
So no, Kelly's like that. This is out of control. This is
For
not
me to
okay.
say that?
Was this Were you guys at Wheaton together?
It was at her house out past Stony Creek, like when they lived out.
So we're having a,
Past her
you know
little-
how we had field parties with the kegs and the fields along those fields
They
out
might not
there.
actually know about those kinds of parties.
It was a field party. Because
parties
Rocky
in
had them at
cornfields.
Stony Creek in his fields, and they bring in the porta potties.
All right, we don't need to call anybody
You
out.
don't need to realize my parents.
We
should
don't
have
need to
been
call.
in
Just
jail.
own your own. Own your own. It's your story.
This is a memorial. They allowed to be here.
Earmuffs.
Kelly, can you-
Earmuffs. Earmuffs. Earmuffs.
So what happened? Did it?
So I bring everybody home, and it's like this place, but this is a deck, right? So
Yeah.
we come in the front door, and like you can't be
It
in
was
the
a
house. you guys.
two-story deck.
You
Yeah.
gotta be out
Yeah.
on the
Okay,
deck.
so we're all on two-story decks.
And
Well,
it
it's a regular
falls
deck.
off
It's on the second
house.
level. It's on stilts.
Yeah.
Well, who's supposed to do it? Sounds like a Kern lumber.
No, there were
problem.
too many. There were too many people on it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, someone
And
else.
you don't have any idea
Yes.
how we're so lucky no one died.
Right.
They landed on top of each other.
And this is, yes.
God, everyone could have gotten hurt.
Everyone would have gotten hurt. And
It was
Kelly-
bad.
And I'm like, no, it's a party. Let's keep partying. And I was like, what is wrong with you?
Did people
I'm
get
like,
hurt?
"Dad."
Did people get hurt?
And I'm like, no, don't call your dad. He's like the Gestapo. And here he comes. And sure enough,
They showed up.
here he shows up, and he's got his slipper
Wait,
on.
wait. Let me clarify. Are you saying that Paul was the first on scene?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh. And he comes in, and he's got his slippers on.
Your parents were out of town?
Mine were out of town,
Okay.
and he's just like,
Get out. That's why
Go,
everyone get out.
Stubborn, get out of here. This is over. God. And oh my
And
man.
I'm like, yeah, what he said.
Yeah, what but it
There's-
was so great. 'cause
You
Kelly,
head to your bedroom.
she knew exactly who was going to solve the problem, and I was like, there is no problem.
When you did
Yeah.
But
No, that was bad.
Paul totally.
Kathy, we are so lucky.
Did anyone get
Right.
hurt?
Yeah.
We don't remember.
Well,
I don't
people,
think so.
you know, they all wanted the claim to fame,
Bill
and then
claimed it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Run
then
for
Robin
office.
goes. She's an
Yeah.
only child.
That
She's at
amputee
lunch on
claimed
Monday,
that
and
they were hurt.
did you hear about that party?
Isn't
Decked
Isn't
out
that what
house.
set
Were you
Steve
there?
Dunker on fire? Wasn't he at that party
No,
and he
that wasn't-
spontaneously combusted?
Yeah, that was a different party.
This is weird.
This is who just said that? This is
Mark.
weird.
Paul had total control of the situation.
But see, you know what's even
Well, I think
weirder?
that's the point.
You know what's even
We don't
so
even talk about the party.
even when I'm not gonna put myself on camera, but even when I would get in trouble and I would have like crazy moments, whatever they were, Gay would call Paul. And oh yeah. I mean, and that was like the worst thing you could ever do. I mean, so he had this like way. It was almost like the Gestapo or the Godfather of things, you know. Remember when I was saying to you, Rocky, like he was 6 foot, but he just seemed so much like as Wendy was saying, he just seemed so much bigger in stature because of just all that he represented for us, right? And Tommy too. I mean, it's like both of them together, what they did for our family in terms of like just being there, right?
I thought Paul was 6'4".
Exactly. That's the point. That's exactly what I'm saying. Right.
I never did anything wrong.
Stop it.
Never.
Stop it.
I'm sure you didn't.
Did a lot more than I did.
No.
Yes.
Are you saying this because your son is here?
No, seriously.
No, I think
No,
that's
actually,
true.
Christy really never did anything wrong.
I didn't do
Goody
it.
two shoes.
I'll vouch for her.
So in
I
post.
went to school with her a lot.
Wendy
She
got
never
a lot,
did anything
away with a
wrong.
lot more than I did.
So is this when you start to break loose?
Yeah. Yes.
You did a lot more than I did.
Christy really never did anything
I
wrong.
Oh, Pauline.
Well, all right, Wendy, share.
What can you come up with? It's the first thing you think of.
I do.
Yeah.
What's the first thing
Really
you think of?
did. I was very.
Did she sneak out of
Scared
the
to do
house? Did she
anything.
have parties when your parents were away? Did she?
Well, I just
Did she
know
do everything that Kelly
I got
did?
blamed for an empty vodka bottle that I didn't have anything to do with. Yes. Yes.
Probably Dad's.
Well,
Yeah, do you really think it was Christy?
No.
no.
Me.
And that's way too much light.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's the only way I can actually show you guys, though.
No,
Here, do it like
I really
this.
didn't ever do anything.
And
I was scared to do anything.
I was
You
too.
did. Yeah. Okay. Well, I feel like you got in trouble for a few more things.
I
than
did get in trouble for a few more things, but the only thing that I did that was wrong that I didn't get caught for was you were talking about driving. A friend of mine had a VW Bug, and he taught me how to drive stick shift. And when Mom taught me how to drive your Rabbit in a stick shift, she was like,